commentary once we start. And we have launched. Well, we're in the launching screen rather, and the game should hopefully launch relatively soon. Okay, so hopefully. Okay, hello everyone, welcome to ESOC Supremacy Tournament thingy number 3. The matchup is Lucas L99 against theonlybaus, China against France, and well, on Arkansas. So first of all, I'm going to switch on the fog. And okay, so coin start, and of course China gets his fixed great start. So coin start for France does mean that he will be able to make a market if he so pleases. It's also going to be helpful to have the 60 wood over there. So far no treasures for, okay, well, pretty even treasures, just the starting base treasures. And looks like he will be going for a market most likely. Yeah, you can see the villager going to the silver mine to mine some coins. He can trade at the market. Just trade that 50 coin plus the 25 coin mine plus 100 coin gathered for 100 wood at the market. And he should also probably be putting some... Never mind, he's fine there. That was pretty nice over here to shoot that with his villagers. But he's fine, he doesn't have to chop any wood because he did have the 60 wood treasure right in front of his base, and he did save a little bit of time by shooting his villagers, and I think that was very smart of him. Pretty smart of him. Here comes another treasure pickup over here. It's going to be 70 food for Lucas. So hunting dogs is going to be what's on the menu for theonlybaus. And of course he's just building his stuff. Well, I think he could possibly be a bit more active with how his hunt works, his hunt herding works, because it's possible to just send as few villagers as possible to the furthest deer thing. And okay, this is basically what I wanted to see a bit earlier from him. You just herd it a bit closer to the town center so that the new villagers who come out don't have to walk as much. I mean, the ones which are far away, you'd rather have them hunt closer to the location rather than near the town center, but you do want the villagers popping out to be tossed into hunts as soon as possible. Now, neither of them is going to go for a trading post start. Obviously, that's because France went for a market start, whereas Lucas is China, and he will be going for double village. And you can see, if you look at his deck, he does have northern refugees, and that will probably be the first card. But he hasn't built his... I don't know what's happening here, but he has not built his village yet, and that it could be big. Okay, he has decided that he's going to be going for a trading post. No wonder. Okay, so I suppose that was all part of the plan. I was wondering, well, okay, is he going to forget to build his village? And looks like that won't be the case. Now, this is a bit of an odd choice, I would say. I don't know if he got any wood treasures. He did not. Maybe he was waiting to see if he got any wood treasures, but usually you can afford to build the trading post first and then the village later as China. And that would be a slightly more efficient build. Okay, so the only boss over here sneaking in gang saw while he ages up. It is kind of a Samwise sort of thing. You sneak in the gang saw if you've got enough food from treasure or whatever. Samwise 12, of course, being one of the pioneers of specific French efficient build orders. You can see green Lucas over here contesting, well, not really contesting, there's no one to contest over here. Well, punching a few wolves to death, rather. This scout not being very active. Should probably be moving around. And Lucas has just found this 80 food treasure, which I suspect that he'll go for right after picking this up. Okay, the quartermaster is probably going to be what the French is aging up with. Yes, it is a quartermaster. He's getting the standard. This is pretty much as standard a French build you can get, with the innovation recently, or rather standard innovation of building a trading post in transition. Now it's still hard to say what he's going to do from here, but you can see that he has got 128 wood over chop 3 wood, tut tut, but he's going to be trying to get steel traps ASAP. No forward villagers. He does have his scout stealthed over here, but maybe he is aware that there is no core tomahawk, and I think most likely it will be some sort of semi-FF from the France player. And what is a bit interesting here is that Lucas had villagers on wood. So look at that. He might stop at 200 wood. Now, normally doing a straight FF, that's not something you would do. So Lucas might be doing something a bit interesting here. Here comes a stable for the OnlyBaus, and now Lucas is aged up. Let's see what he's going to do with his 200 wood. A second trading post is what it's going to be. So it's going to be a kind of a slow eco FF from Lucas, it would seem. Whereas from the OnlyBaus it's going to be a kind of Hussar semi-FF most likely. Let's have a look at the whole shipment sent. From now on, 3 vills, 4 vills. So far, so good, as in following the standard stuff. And, well, bit of something going on over here. Likely he'll crack shot that and get a 40 XP treasure, which is going to be good for him. 700 coin does come out, and Lucas is going to be trying to age up. He will be maybe slightly slower than the normal FF, but he's going to have so much of a stronger follow-up behind it, especially since you can see that the OnlyBaus is going for basically a kind of semi with probably just only 1 batch of cavalry. So long as Lucas can hold that, then, you know, this build is a lot stronger than the usual China FF, I would say. So look, it is going to be 700 coin, but the 5 Hussar have not come out just yet. Just double check those are in queue. There are 5 Hussars in queue, here they come now. Just now coming in. But Lucas is already going to be able to get his age up. And he's got basically consecutive shipments as a result of his trading post build. 700 coin, then 7 wood almost straight after. You can see 535 to 615, which means that it was pretty much 100% 2 shipments queued up, because it takes 40 shipments for a shipment to arrive. And now, what's very good for Lucas here is that he's got these things. Well, now they're dead, but he could have possibly called Minimum there, but I don't think he had the resources. He is going to be aging up with the porcelain tower here. Oh, here come the Minutemen. So those didn't delay the cavalry long enough for Lucas, and so they did end up being very useful. And you look at the shipments. He's on his 5th shipment. They're both working towards the 5th shipment, but okay, there's not much I can say about that anymore. It's just they're both working towards the 5th shipment, but you can see that China's XP progression is slightly ahead. Likely France did get a bit of XP from killing that. You can see that the Summer Palace was on the Keshik and pikemen thing, and that's just an anticipation move really, because pretty much most French players at this level will do the Cav semi, and which means that this is going to be pretty much the correct decision really. Now Lucas is aging up, France did age up, and he still only got 1 military unit production facility. And I don't know if he's got anything in queue. He's got dragoons in queue. Okay. And it will be whatever territorial army I believe it's called, coming out for Lucas from here, and just defending his trading post here, which is being sieged down by rogue explorer Medard Radisson, and 3 dragoons coming out. Not a full batch, but 1,000 wood has come out. Okay, I suppose this is probably the correct decision under these circumstances, whether it's intentional or not, or just following what the standard is. Who knows? But I don't think he would have been able to do much damage with the unit shipment at this point in time anyway, especially with only this kind of one stable thing. Sometimes people do just ship Sermahod in H2 and build the military buildings in H2, but he's elected to save that and go for the 1000 wood. Maybe this villager's going to die. Yeah, a bit sloppy from Lucas here. He could easily have saved that if he had just popped in the village. I don't know how lag is, but anyway, intervention comes first. Units lost, let's have a quick look at that. So far, 2 villagers were actually lost for Lucas. 5 Hussar for 2 villagers. Okay, that's still pretty okay for France. France is kind of stacking quite a lot of resources here, and he's even getting amalgamation. Both players kind of just being pretty passive. I don't really like France's decision to... I suppose it's alright here though. I thought he was going to maybe seize the trading post or something, but he's shown 3 dragoons, and Lucas seeing that if he was being alert, that doesn't really tell him very much. Well, it tells him there are at least 3 dragoons on the map, but not much else. I don't believe Lucas actually scouted Blue's base very well. All his units have been pretty much on the left hand side of the map, just defending from free raids here and there, defending trading posts. I like how the villages are being spread out quite a bit here. Okay, so looks like Blue going to be trying to go for a little of a dragoon raid. I forgot to reposition this again. My apologies. Recalculate economic population is pretty much even it, but Lucas does have 2 trading posts, which means as time goes on, those shipments are going to stack up. See, 354 only needed versus 515. Lucas is about 150 XP ahead. Losing more villagers, which he didn't really need to over here. But popping them in now. So he's lost 3 villagers. Let's have a look at all the military units so far. So Dragoon skirmisher composition, and pretty much the usual China, everything, make every single unit, and kill lots of villagers. Okay, here comes, looks like what's going to be a bit of a deciding battle here. And what can I say, lots of villagers going down, and the only boss doesn't really have anything that counters this composition extremely efficiently. He's kiting back to the best of his ability though. He is going to be able to clear up all of the cav here. But I think he will hold, but at what cost? If you look at the units lost, you can see 9 CDP lost, and that's because all those villagers out there at the mine. Lucas is going to be going back, it seems. More units trickling in, but with defender's advantage and the fact that these are CDB, and they do have great coat, going to be able to push the Chinese force backwards is the blue player here, and just spreading out his villagers a bit more. It's interesting to note how he's decided against mine. No, he's going to be going for it after all. If I were him in this situation, I would probably be looking at this coin mine down here and seeing there's only 500 coin left on that. It's proven to be very risky to mine there, and he would I would probably have tried to shift at least half of these villagers onto another coin mine up north, because this is going to run out pretty soon anyway. There's going to be a lot of walking time, and villagers are at the midpoint here, so it would be more efficient to spread them out a bit more. But still, could be anyone's game. Scores are still actually very even, despite so many villagers being lost over there. And well, Dragoons going in for another raid. They might kill some extra units. Lucas being a bit more alert than he was earlier on. And let's have a look back a look at the shipments sent. So you can have a look at everything for Lucas has been pretty much all unit shipments, whereas only boss has had that 1k wood shipped. And while that did give him the ability to set all this infrastructure, the fact that Lucas pushed in and was able to do quite a lot of damage means it's questionable whether that actually paid off. Looks like it's going to be cursors in queue, and 8 cursors, and I suppose 10 dragoons and skirmishers here, so not very much in the way of cavalry. So skirmisher is going to be able to deal quite a bit of free range. We can see free reign. We can see this scout has been stealth here, not really moving for the whole duration of the game. Lots of villagers going to die here, possibly all of them. But going back to the scout there, it could have been moving around a bit more, just trying to figure out what else is going on. It looks like Lucas is going to lose maybe 1 or 2 villagers. I didn't really see that properly. Could have lost a lot more if the cursors were better positioned. But repelling volley is going to be the next card, possibly anticipating all the dragoon mess. But there is going to be no dragoons. It's going to be further skirmishers coming out. Military unit population is still fairly even, but you can see the economic unit population is heavily in favor of green Lucas. And he does have all of these upgrades. Pretty much most of the upgrades, most important ones except for the coin gathering upgrade, which is fine because he's got pretty much nothing on coin at the moment. 1 villager on coin. And sorry, this is a 0-0. I'll stop updating that. This is a 0-0, 0 all, and it's a best of 1 in the round of 16. So this is the deciding game. Now, everything's still rather close, aside from the economic unit population. Well, not much to say. I mean, everyone just posturing their armies. Nobody really wants to commit here. It is a best of 1, so it is understandable that they would want to be cautious. We've still got all trading posts left standing, but I do believe that France does have the ability to start sieging one of these down with just the cav if he so chooses to. And because if you're sieging something down and not really sure what your opponent has, then it's better to go in with the cavalry. I mean, you do show your units, but it's better than sending everything in and getting trapped and, you know, losing the game because of that. But it looks like he's going to be going for raids instead. He will have seen on the minimap that all these elk are now dead, and that's what's happening. And Lucas's army is terribly out of position here, and this could be, well, the kind of thing that blue needs to win. Not necessarily win, but maybe gain back the upper hand in terms of recalculate economic population. I mean, scores are still in blue's favor, surprisingly enough. Yeah, he could have kept his army there for a bit longer because all his skirmishers are in the back. He had there was no real reason for him to go back. No danger of being caught out because these are all cavalry, and it's goon plus cursors against. Well, now you see the Manchu, but you can still run away from there if need be because you have no infantry in there. But I suppose deciding to play it relatively safe here. Might have a fight. Okay, here comes a fight near the trees. That's important to note because that's going to be good for this kind of kiting composition. And okay, here comes the big fight, I would say. Everything just being jammed in. The villagers actually coming forward to try to tank some damage, but let's have a look at how the economic unit population graph is moving. Still fairly even, but you can see it's slowly going towards green's favor, and this is in spite of the villager goal here, which means that, well, you can even see that in the score here. The only boss down 20 score already just from that fight, even when he was 20 score up in the beginning. Although that may have been something to do with the mercenary ship being sent. But decisive battle for green here, winning quite decisively, and GG. Which does mean that Lucas is going to progress to the round of 8. So already as good as to tier 12. Congratulations to Lucas. And some post-game analysis. Let's have a look at the graphs. You can see, well, that was a big thing where blue basically did not react fast enough and lost a whole lot of villagers. He was, throughout this game, blue was quite enthusiastic about using vills to tank, but I don't think that's necessarily necessary in kind of skirmisher goon kind of battles, because there's a lot of kiting you can do, especially when you're in your own base. You have chokes like that. You can reposition everything. So, I mean, first of all, he did lose some villagers in that coin mine, but he didn't have to lose more villagers after that, I'd say. with it better positioning. You know, I think he could still have held otherwise. But yeah, military unit population, everything pretty much even until the final fight. Anyway, Luke is going for what is a bit more of an eco FF compared to standard China FF, and France going for pretty much the usual France semi-FF with perhaps a bit of a change in that it was 1000 wood instead of 700 wood. Oh, we can see how things turned out. And so, yeah. Not much else to say. Congratulations to Lucas, and we'll see you in the. I will see you in the next game, whichever one that is.